welcome back into a new video of Star Trek Online. Today we will be looking into a canon build for the USS Enterprise E Sovereign class.
Those Starfleet ships won't last much longer
I
against
should
that
be able
Mokai
to
force.
use this in loadout as soon as you're starting the game. Or not as soon, but you should be able to equip most of the stuff.
Enterprise, this is Sadea Base. Get clear! It's a...
Let's fire to disable those Starfleet ships. I want to get to the bottom of this.
What I have for the loadout.
I've heard from the captains of those Starfleet ships that attacked us. It's not good news.
I will say, I will come up for the... I will let you guys decide on what you want your customizable power presets to be. But as you will see for mine, this is what I have for each one of them. This one gives a really good defense and speed. It's just a good amount of strength. This one gives a lot of...
This is Commander Sunul. That's...
shield and speed.
Here they come, and they're locked and loaded.
Attack. It's good for defense.
Those are rebels from other Klingon houses.
The third one is more built for power and shield, as the speed is not used that much. And then for this final one, we have everything to attack and shield, so we have a really slow offense class, but we have a good amount of attack power. This will only be good in some parts of the game. This is a weaker type of build.
More virus.
But it will be able to, on what I think is the Nemesis version of the USS Enterprise from the movie Nemesis.
We're still trying to...
Here come the Mokai.
But I'll explain more after this is over.
Heads up! A rebel Klingon fleet just warped in.
Only if you want a cheap and affordable cannon build without spending any money. This is not the most powerful build, but it's an okay build.
No.
Ja'ula must...
Now to show you guys what I was using during the battle. This was just based on what I had at the time. We'll do the weapons first, and then we'll do the abilities. So for the weapons, you can have 2 photon torpedoes in the front, 1 quantum torpedo launcher in the front, and then you could have a 1 phaser beam array. It doesn't have to be the prolonged engagement beam array. You can have another one in the back, like a phaser beam. Another 2 photon torpedoes in the back with a prolonged engagement photon torpedo or a regular one. Now, if you get both of the prolongs, you can then attach it to this console, prolonged engagement, to have a power boost. That way you have a set. But what I instead did was only place 2, and I use console universal right here for a faster fire rate, I think. More photon damage also. I only have one set of those. And this universal flagship tactical computer for a faster fire cycle, flight turn, and turn, and directed energy. Then for these last two, I just put engineering, neutronium alloy, MK12s for all damage resistance. But you don't need these two if you can't get them. Even though this one is story unlocked, this one may be maybe one you might have to spend money on. I don't remember exactly how I got it. But really, you can just put 4 engineering neutronium alloys to withstand more attacks. And then you can put I put more shield capacity with more critical chances and severity and resistance. And more phaser damage here. These are the 2 that I used. Now, if you wanted to substitute these, the best thing I think that you can do is not it's probably a flow capacitor, which improves energy and shield drains / resistance to SAMs, or shield restoration. And those are the 2 that you can swap it out for. May not cause the same effects. Now this next one is these tactical photon detonation assemblies. They're somewhat easier to get throughout the story. But once you have them, you should be able to do slightly more damage with your photon torpedoes. And for quantum torpedoes, I'm not sure when you can get these, but these are probably going to show up, if I'm not mistaken, most likely after you get your tier 4 or tier 5 ship. But if you don't have a quantum, you can swap it out for a phaser damage. Same for the photons, but if you don't have those, just put the beam weapon damage. It'll do the same effect. The only problem is that you will not be able to have increased damage to your photon torpedoes and quantum torpedoes, but you will have slightly more damage for your phasers. For these shields and all that, you can put whatever, because it doesn't really matter. But if you can get the quantum phase set. Look it up in your own time, but I'll show you what the effects do. And I did this because it gives us more shield capacity. each of these improves our ship's capabilities. And I put weapons battery because this ship is not too good on its own, which means you are going to need the weapons the most, because once you get to the Iconian War era or anything beyond that, let's say the Delta Quadrant or after the around there, your enemies are going to be taking out your shields very easily. And for some of those chapters, your engines may go out as well. So you need weapons, that way you can still fire back and do slightly more damage. If you can't get a full weapons battery set, what you can do is just what I used to like to do in the beginning, where you just put everything. You put auxiliary power, batteries, shield batteries, and weapon batteries. But I will say, try and put more engine, shield, and weapon batteries, because I am not too sure what auxiliary power battery does. So now for the stats, this is what I have so far for attack. It's not much, but it's a decent amount of what we can most likely do. And for my stations, I put a target shield subsystems. You won't get this in the beginning, but if you can do patrols right away, patrol missions, just save up, or not, how do I say this? No, never mind. On what I said, because you're most likely gonna get a high yield and an overload set. But this is what I have so far. If you can't get these, I would recommend that you save some of your energy credits. That way you can get energy weapons, target shield subsystems, torpedo spreads, and fire at will. This sadly won't work for torpedoes high yields because the high yield is not very good against multiple enemies, only one. And it just shoots out the same amount of torpedoes as regular and doesn't do much. That's why we're having torpedo spreads. And fire at will may seem useless, but we actually need that so that we can still fire at every other ship around us, even though you only have 2 phaser beams. This way you're not just attacking one ship at a time. Now for your engineering section, there's not much to say here. All I will say is that make sure you have the right training manuals or abilities here, where you can both heal your ship but also damage the enemy ship too. Science, you just want to make sure that it's somewhat good enough to keep you alive. Yeah, this is a my budget canon build of what I would think Star Trek Nemesis Enterprise E would have for its loadout. I will be posting another one about the Enterprise, I believe. Let's make it Enterprise D, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.